So, hi, Harriette. It's so good to
Hi.
see you and to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you. Ladies, people who will watch this video, my name is Ruth Sinclair from Paramaribo, Suriname. And I am organizing the Inspiring Ladies of the Caribbean Summit later this year in November. And Miss Harriette Skeete here is from Barbados,
Hi.
sitting in her car in the sunshine. And
Yeah.
she's one of the ladies who will give a master class during the summit on Saturday. And well, Harriette, you agreed to a short interview, and I thank you for that. It's really, really nice to see you in person. Well,
Yeah.
online, but we haven't met before. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're in the sun. The sun is really shining on you. Yeah, you live on a
Yeah.
sunny island. Today it's
It's true.
today it's winter here. We have rain, rain, rain. So
Oh,
yeah, you have pulled over with your car. Thank you for making time in your busy schedule. But tell us more about who is Harriette Skeete.
oh wow. That's a big question.
Yeah, it is. But you're a big lady, as I heard. So
Oh,
I'm
thank
very
you.
curious.
But thank you so much, Ruth, and it's a real pleasure to be here, speaking to you and connecting with you. I've heard a lot about you as well, and of course, we do have a mutual connection. But it is really a joy to be here. And yes, you did mention I am on the go, so I had to pull over and make sure I could have a interview with you and connect with you and your group and the wonderful things that you're doing not only in your country but also throughout the Caribbean. And you mentioned the sunshine. It's beautiful weather here in Barbados, and that actually is one of my nicknames. People call me Sunshine.
Ah, I can
Yes,
imagine that. Yes.
yeah. It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
And what you see literally is what you get.
Yeah.
So you asked about me and who I am. Well, of course, I'm Harriette Sunshine Skeete. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a business executive. I'm a wife. I'm a mother and so many other things. I am a professional, a certified life coach, a motivational speaker. And if I was to put everything that I do in sort of like one sentence or phrase, it would be that, I'm here, I've been put on this earth to inspire and motivate people. That's the joy that I get out of just living and connecting with people every day. And this could be men, women, young girls, boys, it doesn't matter. I feel that it's important as a human being that I help to inspire others and help them reach their full potential.
Yeah.
So if I was to put
Are
who
we
I
twin
am in
sisters?
a nutshell, that's it.
Yeah. Are we twin sisters? Because we share our. It's a big purpose, and we share exactly the same purpose. It's so.
It's,
This is amazing.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And because the world is so big, we need more people like us.
Yes. Yes. And we're gonna
We need
find
more
them. We're
people,
gonna find them. So,
most definitely.
as with me, your purpose is to inspire people to reach their full potential, to look inside of them. But what is there? What's in the source, right? So, but who inspires you? Who said? Who? Yeah. Who lights your fire?
Well, a long time ago, I remember, as I was going and struggling in my journey of trying to find my purpose and, making lots of mistakes and not realizing why I was here on this earth, I stumbled across a motivational speaker called Les Brown, who
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
people would know, right? And I remember him saying in this video that he said, "You have greatness within you." And that resonated with me so much because I just found that I was always struggling, always feeling like I could do more, but not realizing or knowing what that more was. And that phrase alone helped propel me on my journey. Of course, Miles Monroe is an awesome motivational speaker as well. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but he's someone that also motivated me, as well as Tony Robbins or Anthony Robbins, as
Yes.
he's well known for. Unleash the power, personal power.
And
So I did a lot
find
of
your giant within is. I
this
love
is
that
it.
one.
That
Yes.
within all, and there's so many others. John Maxwell, who is one of my mentors because I'm actually I graduated from his program, and that's how I've become a certified speaker, trainer, and coach. And so there are many others that have influenced me all throughout my life.
Yeah.
And of course, my mother, my husband, and so many other people close to home. But when I was struggling and really needed something to hone into, a message, those were some of the key motivational speakers and obviously their books that I got into. So those things are what really motivates me.
Yeah. Beautiful. And what is the main thing that keeps you that you come out of your bed for in the morning? That you think, oh yes, it's another beautiful day. Let's go do this. So what? How does her average day look for Harriette Skeete?
Wow, the thing that gets me out of bed is that same thing, reason, knowing that I need to go out and motivate others. There's a phrase that says live full and die empty. So that's almost my mantra on a day-to-day basis. I am a Christian, so I do believe in Jesus Christ. And, I think that when I actually go before my Father, he says to me, well done, my good and faithful servant. That's the key thing that keeps me moving in the morning. For
Yeah.
sure, getting me up, I should say. I want to
Yeah.
hear those words so that all the gifts and talents that have been placed inside of me, I've actually utilized, I've used them. And so I get to heaven and I'm like worn out. My body's like completely gone. And he's thinking, okay, well, you made good use of everything I gave you.
Yeah.
That's what I
Good.
want to make sure. So
Yeah.
that's my motivation in the morning. But
It's
the
a.
average day it's pretty. What I do a lot of motivational videos, and you can find that on my Instagram page, Sunshine Skeete, and also on my Facebook page. I do lots of
I'm gonna
motivational
follow
videos.
you. I haven't
Thank
followed you
you.
yet. Oh my good. Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna do that after this interview right away.
I do lots of motivational videos. So that's usually how my day starts. I usually do that in the morning. I go somewhere really quiet because we're a small island. We're 21 miles long by 14 miles wide. You can pretty much get to any beach quite quickly. So usually just before I come into my day job, I will go to the beach. I would relax. I would meditate. And then I'll do a motivational video. And that could be on anything that's inspiring me at the time, or maybe even something I may be going through that I think someone else may want to hear what I'm going through, just as inspiration to help them get through. And
Yes.
then, of course, I'm a marketing executive at a large company here in Barbados. So then that is what I do during the day. And then in the evening, I may have some coaching clients, or I may have additional meetings because, of course, I also do seminars and I will do conferences and different events all throughout the year. And sometimes that takes up a lot of my time, as well, of course, my two young girls and my
Yeah.
husband. So my days are usually packed to
Yes.
capacity. So I try to make the most of all the time that I have.
Yeah, and that's why I'm extra fortunate and extra grateful that you made the time to speak to me and to address the ladies of the Caribbean, of course, and of course the men of the Caribbean also.
Of
Everybody wants to
course,
watch this video.
can't
Hey,
forget the
and
men.
yeah, no, we shouldn't forget the men, but we chose to start. I chose to start with the women first, and then because I'm a lot I do is about Ubuntu leadership. So from Nelson Mandela, South Africa, and Ubuntu is about connecting and about forgiving and about sharing, And but they have a lot of beautiful Ubuntu phrases, and one of them is, "If you educate a man, you educate a man. If you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation."
That's
So
right.
that's part of my purpose and part of my journey to
Yeah.
inspire and educate women and bring women together. So because if we women, we were talking about that before we started recording, that we women should support each other more, and that we couldn't grasp that why it still is that some women feel the need to take others down or to not accept if another woman goes up. What's your take on that?
I think has a lot to do with self-esteem,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, and confidence in your talents and your abilities. So I think what happens is once another woman may see another lady and they may have lots of these skill sets, or even it could be an attitude, personality that they lack. They don't like it. They detest it, in fact.
Yeah.
And so what they end up doing is they try then to do everything they can. They try to sabotage. They try to make that person look bad. So in turn, that they potentially could look better. Um, it doesn't usually work. It usually backfires because you find like women like myself and like yourself and those people that are probably watching, we're on a path. We're on a path of of goals, of meeting objectives, of purpose. And I find when you're on that steadfast path and you're consistent with who you are, then there's no stopping you.
No,
So you
there
may
is
be in an
not.
environment where you unfortunately can't control it. In other words, you may be working for someone and there may be one or two people in there that are trying to sabotage and put you down and so on. And I would say and encourage those that are listening, if you're going through that situation right now, that stay true to yourself and true to your path, and don't ever go down to someone else's level. You
No.
always have to maintain a level of integrity and a level of passion for what you're doing. And so no matter what, even if it happens that, you may get fired from your position, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that can stop you on your path, as long as I mentioned, you stay true to yourself. So that's how I believe that you can get past these obstacles of, unfortunately, women that will try to tear you down. And it doesn't matter how many motivational speakers there are in the world, you're always going to have an instance where you're going to face that type of person, and it could also be a man. It's just going to happen. You're going to have those obstacles.
Yes. The thing is, I hear you speak and I think, wow, she's talking about, I don't know if you know that I've written 2 books, and my first book is called Sexy Leadership. And
wow.
and I'm releasing it on next month on Amazon. So, but sexy leadership is all what you talked about. Sexy leadership is about acknowledging your knowledge. What do you know? What are your strengths? So it has 5 steps. What are your strengths? What are your talents? And how can you use your talents and your knowledge to make an impact on your surroundings, make an impact on your life, on life of others? How do you present yourself, and how can you walk in confidence so that others want to work with you and want to do business with you? Because the sexy is not in, look at her walking in her lingerie or her bikini. No, the sexy is in from inside. If you have confidence, self-esteem, and you know where you're going, you are on your path of purpose, then nothing and no one can stop you or tear you down. Nope. And that's what sexy leadership is about. And also the Ubuntu part in it. Another beautiful proverb, one of my favorites from Ubuntu says, if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. So have you ever heard of that one? And what do you think of that?
I have not. I love that quote. I love that quote. And the beautiful thing about leadership is about influence. Mm-hmm. Nothing more, nothing less. So you need to be able to influence others to move forward with you, to achieve a particular task, objective, goal, whatever it may be. You can't do it by yourself. It's going to be literally impossible. So I'm in full agreement with that quote. You need others, and the only way you'll be able to influence others is by honing on that skill of leadership. Mm-hmm. And some people say that leaders are born and not made. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's a bit of both. I mean, you do have people that are just generally naturally charismatic, and people want to follow them. But also you have people that may not necessarily have that skill set, but they can learn it. And you can learn these things by being people-oriented and being almost that person that's going to study and analyze people, and also analyze yourself, because more than likely you need to change yourself first before you can change others. Yeah. So I'm in full. I love that quote. I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna stick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a meme of it. And it's true. You have to find yourself first before you can and help yourself up first before you can help others. And that's where my book came from. But I'll tell you that story when you are here in Paramaribo in November, because you are one of the ladies who gives a masterclass on the second day of the summit on Saturday. Have you already thought about what your masterclass will be about? It will be about leadership. I know that much. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and why ladies of the Caribbean should come to the summit?
Most definitely. Obviously, yes, it is on leadership, but leadership is so wide. Mm-hmm. So there's a wonderful book. If you haven't read it, I would actually recommend everyone that's listening to read it. And it's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And it's something that every person should read, whether you are in a quote unquote a leadership position or not. And these facts, or laws I should say, actually outline all the things you need to be an effective leader. And that is what my masterclass is going to be around. Now, this speaks to people that are executives, people that are just mothers, people that have their own businesses. And it speaks about the myths of leadership. It speaks about how leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It speaks about the circle of people that you should keep around you as a leader. Yes. It speaks about how to increase your effectiveness as a leader, what you need to do. And it's going to be a great master class. I'm going to give real life examples coming from my life and things that I've faced as an executive and also as an entrepreneur, things that I've done that have worked, things that I've done that haven't worked, so that people that come away, they have real steps that they can take to improve their leadership skills, things that they can implement probably immediately that will help them become a better leader in their workplace or just in their just normal environment. It's going to be absolutely amazing. You're going to come away feeling inspired and feeling as if there is nothing that you cannot face. And the good thing about talking to leaders is that you now have a more of a multiplicity type of effect, because they're going to go back into their environments and then influence other leaders. And so you're going to have that effect just moving a lot quicker than if you're talking to people that may not necessarily have a lot of influence. But I know those people that are going to be in that master class are going to have lots of influence over the people that they work with, or if they manage, if they have their own businesses and so on, that they're going to make some real change in their companies, in the lives of others, and ultimately in their country, because that's effectively what we're trying to do. We're trying to change mindsets and change countries so that they are better.
Oh my God, we really are twin sisters. So I'm inspired already. So I cannot wait until November. Can you please repeat the title of the book and maybe the author also, so that people can go and find it?
Yes, it's called The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's by John C. Maxwell. You can find it anywhere. You can find it on Amazon, and most of the online places that sell books. I'm sure you'll be able to find it even in your local bookstore.
Yes.
It's one of those books that every leader should have in their bookshelf, and my teachings are going to be surrounded around that book. It has completely changed my life. It's changed my marriage. It's changed how I interact even with my children. It is a phenomenal book, and it is a must read.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it right after this interview. I've seen John Maxwell when I was in the Netherlands, so very impressive.
He is.
So Harriette, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment up until now?
Yes.
My biggest accomplishment? Yes.
Personally or with others, or it doesn't matter, just generally?
What has had such a big impact on you that you really think that this was my moment of, and it doesn't matter if it's personal or business wise?
Yes. The day I decided to let go of all my fears. It actually happened. Actually happened to me last year. And I mentioned earlier to you about Les Brown. Now, I'll just tell you briefly about my background, because even though I live in Barbados, I'm not a naturally born citizen here.
Okay.
My mother's Barbadian, but I'm from the UK. So when she first had myself and my sister, we were young. I was 9, and my sister was 3, and she moved us from the UK to Barbados. And our life in the UK wasn't the best. We lived in a very poor area. We lived in an area that had lots of drugs and also prostitution. But my mother was wise enough.
Oh,
that's exactly what.
Yeah. We lost a little bit of connection there.
Moved over. I just had a call that came through. So
okay. Yeah.
So we moved over to Barbados from the UK with nothing. My mother was a single mother at the time, and she worked hard and made sure she could give us the best. And I had a really good education, so that set me on a good pathway. And as I mentioned to you, for a little while, as I went through my teenage years and also my young, 20-year-old type of years, I guess, young womanhood, I struggled with finding out who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. And I made a lot of grave mistakes. And so I came to a position where I had lots of knowledge in marketing, lots of knowledge in networking, connecting, but I just didn't know how to utilize these skills and talents. And as I mentioned, I came across Les Brown, and I said, you know what? I'm going to bring him to Barbados. And I did all of my research, got all my budgeting done, and made a whole heap of calls, took massive action, but it just didn't happen. And it didn't happen because even though I was doing all of this, I had this fear that it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It didn't work.
It didn't
And
work.
so it didn't work. So I went back into my shell, and I thought, what's the point of even trying? Because people don't know who I am. Yes, I'm educated and so on, but I don't have the right connections. Like all of these excuses that we often come up with were real for me. I didn't have enough money, and it just made sense. Because again, self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, I didn't have all these things. It was never going to work. It didn't work. Okay, what's next? And I met this lady just randomly because I just decided I'm going to put myself out there. I was on LinkedIn. I started connecting with other people that had similar interests, life coaching, motivational speaking, all the rest of it. And I connected with this one lady from the UK. Her name is Carmelita Natal. Phenomenal woman. And it so happened, she's based in the UK, it so happened that she was traveling to Barbados. I reached out to her the Monday, she was traveling to Barbados the Friday. It was just it's unbelievable how it happened.
Coincidence does not exist, eh?
What do you call it? It was, to me, serendipity.
Yes.
So then on the Friday we met. I went to her hotel, we met, and she said, Harriette, tell me about yourself, similar to what you just said. And I told her about myself, about failing with Les Brown, really wanting to do something for women, women's empowerment. And she said to me, so what's stopping you? And I was like, me. So it was a real question, and I had to ask myself, what was stopping me? You have all the skills, all the talent. Why are you not doing it? And I said, because of me. She says, Harriette, it stops today. It stops right now. You want to do this thing? Set a date. And I was like, what? She said, set a date. When is it going to happen? And I set a date. And you know what, Ruth? It happened.
It happened.
I had my first conference. I let go of my fear. I let go of all of the excuses, and I started to live my dreams. And with that being said, it happened. Now, a lot of things happened in between there. It wasn't easy. There were moments I remember. The pressure was so much. I was in the shower and I broke down crying. The pressure was so much. Didn't think it was going to happen. Wasn't getting the sponsorship. Was making lots of calls. No one was returning my calls. Someone messaged me and said, do not call me again. I mean, I got a lot of rejection. But I had a moment. I was in the shower. I was getting ready. I can't remember where I was getting ready to come to work. And like I broke down in the shower. I mean, I was sobbing. I remember the water coming down. I mean, I could feel it. And I just said, Lord, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And I had a moment. He gave me a moment, and I was crying, and I was kneeling down. I didn't even think like I was ever able to get out of that shower. And then all of a sudden I heard, get up, because you will do this. I gave you this dream, and I gave you this. This is your purpose. You need to get up and do what needs to be done.
Yes.
And I got up, and I made sure that I did everything. I took massive action, Ruth. And I had my first ever conference. I brought in Sharon Lecter, who was the co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is a whole series of books written by Robert Kiyosaki, sold millions of copies.
Beautiful books.
She now works with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She has a book called Think and Grow Rich for Women. And she came to Barbados at my conference. And like, even as I was actually having the conference, and obviously I shared my story and then listened to her, it felt so surreal. And I just remembered the point where I decided to let go of my fears and went for it. And I went for it 100%. And since then, it has been paying off. I would not say that it's been easy. Ruth, I've done so many more things since then. I've brought in famous people from the US. They've come in. I've had galas. I just had another event last week. It has not been easy. The journey is never easy.
No.
But when I mentioned to you earlier about having a clear goal, objective, and also a purpose and a drive, and you know why you're doing what you're doing, that nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you, because persistence is what leads to success. Nothing more, nothing less. If you're not persistent and consistent, you might as well just give up.
Yes.
But if you're persistent, it has to happen.
It will.
Has to happen.
It will. Always. Yeah. So this is.
That was my short story.
No, this is so awesome. I love listening to other women who have this fire similar that that I recognize, the last thing is what dream or plans do you have for 2017 that will have this drive behind it?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've just launched a foundation to raise money to help young boys and girls in Barbados with regards to the creative arts. So that has been a seed that was planted inside me just this year. I am not creative in any way.
You are, because you create events. Events creation is also creative.
True. I do create events. Yes, you are absolutely
It's
correct.
not all about the art.
It's true. It's so true. I didn't even think of it that way. Thank you very much. Well, I am creative.
You are very creative. Yes.
Just found this seed was planted within me about starting something for young women and young boys, and so I've been having events to support that cause. So I'm going to be doing a lot more things during this year for that. It's called Rise Up. And it's been going very, very well, and I've been getting lots of international media support from I was showcased in Ebony, which was really good, Ebony magazine, as well as an online magazine called Bossip.com. So it's been phenomenal. Also, with regards to another company I started, which is International Women of Power, that was the gala event that I would have had for International Women's Day, which was on the 8th of March. And so I'll be planning for next year to do something along those lines. But all throughout the year, I'm doing workshops. We do networking events as well for women. So there's always something going on. So 2017 is literally going to be my breakthrough year, where I'm going to just kind of put my stamp on different elements that I want to do, but all having the framework of motivating and inspiring people.
Yes, and that is one of the biggest drives that you can have. I feel it, you feel it, and I am so fortunate that through Claire, my business partner here, we can connect, and that we will have you in Paramaribo, Suriname in November. I'm really looking forward to it, and I think I know that a lot of people who see this interview will also. Thank you so much for your time, Harriette. And we will stay in touch. Yes, we will stay in touch, and this will go. I don't know where it will end. This video later, but thank you for your time for this, and we'll be in touch for sure. Yeah, have a great sunny day on Barbados. I'll stick with the rain here in Suriname today.
Thank you so much. I want to say thank you as well for including me in the conference later on in the year in November, and it's just very, very humbling to share a message, and then having people buy into your message and also be inspired by it. So I want to thank you so much. I'm very humble. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Harriette. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.